Hello, good morning. I had a little bit of a holdup, but I'm here this morning 2 minutes after. It's noon out here in Cleveland. We're starting to get some gorgeous, gorgeous weather. Hey, there's Joni. I just got a card from you, Joni. So it's nice to see you guys. Oh, so nice to see you guys. Oh my gosh, wonderful. Good morning, you guys. Oh, Baroque Princess is here. Lightworker artist. How nice is that? That's not Christina? Okay, no. Oh my gosh, I'll have to look you up. So how interesting is that with all the lights? That's exactly what we do here in intentional metalsmithing, is really, really in working with who we are, what our skills are, what we're about, working with the light, working with everyone is so different. We all are on so many different paths. I was just talking to someone recently who is really interested in like the Akashic records and past lives and, which isn't necessarily me. Hi there, Kay. Nice to see you. Oh my gosh. So, it's like we're all on our different paths, and it's so important to put our own hand. Oh, you were in your wrong account this morning, Christina. I thought that was a picture of you, as much as I try not to put, my glasses on, my optivisors. Since I actually started using those optivisors, you actually can't go without them, and the magnifiers hurt your eyes in the long run in real life. But man, does your jewelry look good, right? So, good morning, everybody. Oh my gosh, nice to see you guys. I have a pretty cool subject that I want to talk about today. I feel like we're all here in the United States. I know there's other people who pop on. In the United States, we're all, you guys feel that travel coming in, It's like travel is getting under our skin. I had Sherry contact me a couple days ago about the Morocco trip that we have coming up, because right now we can get, thank you. I do love the color, and I'm so much in that sacral chakra. So I do love it, and thank you. I've been still building with my reds and my little bit of greens. This is a new piece that I just did. I worked on this and I love the shape. I love the, this is actually just different Algerian, flattening your granulation, which is all a little bit on the last one. Itching to travel, right guys? Okay, so here's a thing that I want to talk a little bit about for me, and maybe you guys can relate. I always talk about my own subjects, and then I think you guys can relate too. So it's like, my kids, there's a lot of people that had to use up their, 1 year ago when we tried to travel, they had to use up those airline tickets, right? So I had to drop both my kids off. They were both flying out different places on Tuesday. Oh my gosh. After getting to the airport and dropping them off twice, they were just doing domestic. I was like, oh my gosh, I miss the airport, right? So what do you do with this? Oh, thank you. Here's my other one here. I do have a sale coming up soon with pieces like this, but this is kind of what I want to talk about some of these ancient pieces. But first I want to tell you a little story and tell you how I got into these ancient pieces once again, to refresh. But, so, my trip, I know you guys know I should be in India right now. Some people know. It's been delayed. There's a lot of COVID there. We're healing here in the United States, but it's hard because we have different places that we want to go to, and we're not quite there yet in other places. So anyway, I think it's just a little bit delayed, maybe once again. So after getting that news, I came home and I was like, oh my gosh, I wanted to be exploring this gorgeous Indian culture, this gorgeous earrings, the gorgeous jewelry there. It's so beautiful, the jewelry that you find in India. So when I came home, I was like, how can I get myself centered again? Did a little yoga, centered myself again. And then I really got, I started building a couple pieces like this. I actually found an amazing local guy who is able to do sliced walrus teeth for me, which are these right here. And I also found an amazing local guy these are all from Alaska. So these are actually the woolly mammoth. These are ancient. So these are all excavated and dug up. I love using fossils in my work because of their properties, but of course I would never use, it would be illegal to use current. But these are the ancient, excavated woolly mammoth. And you guys, I have to say, that on exploring all these, I've got handfuls of these. that I'm putting on. I'm getting photos of. I got handfuls of these. Like this is a set, and they're so beautiful. This is one set that I'll have on my website if anybody's, really wanting to use these type of pieces. I found it an amazing, the small is nice. The small is really nice. They almost look like wood. I'll give you guys a couple tips on working with these too, but first I want to, of course, give you a little history. So that is actually you guys will see these up on my Shopify site. And if you haven't, you love my lacy top. This I got from Paris. So I'm kind of digging out all of my, I'm just digging out all of my travel pieces because I'm missing travel. And, I know it's coming soon. I think as we're all getting our first and second vaccinations, it's like we can taste it, right? I mean, the airlines are kind of getting back in there to normal too. Since you guys mentioned my shirt, I wore this from Paris. I also dug up. This was such a beautiful artifact. You guys are going to see it in my photography that I'm doing. I have it right here. It's cream color too. So I'm pulling out all the oranges, all the creams and the reds. But this actually I dragged back from Paris, fitted into my suitcase. This was going to be on the way. This was from a bookstore and it was going to be on the way to the garbage, and they had probably 100 of these. But it's like, look at this gorgeous surface. This surface inspires me for all of this ancient, type pieces. So in my photography that I did, I'm really, I talked last week the week before, I talked about themes, when you're finding themes, when you're photographing your work, when you're photographing, of bodies of work. So when you're photographing and what type of themes you work with, you guys are going to see I worked with a lot of creams and oranges, which is why I'm wearing cream and I have cream and I'm thinking cream colors, So this is actually one of the handfuls that I'll have. They're really well priced. I think I have like 10 of these, but I also am getting more in, so maybe I'll be able to have some. But these are like, these are on my site. You get a nice little bundle like this for $60. On my site, we're just trying to get them up. I think it takes us longer to get everything up on there. Also, you guys, I found a beautiful source. Is this the one? I found a beautiful source locally for these ancient sliced walrus teeth, which is, I love. Okay, so in my work, so these will be on the site too. I want to show you this one pack here that actually has a little hole. Can you imagine this poor guy back in time? Like you knew he was hurting, right? Has anyone ever had a really bad toothache before? But it's pretty cool. I like that one. And so I love, the thing about these colors is that there's gorgeous brown colors and black colors. Like you can see, which teeth were the best, which teeth were, I love these nice white ones for different pieces. And for me, I know you guys know. Hi, you guys. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining. Here's one of the biggest pieces here. So I love mixing these white and browns just in with my gems. It gives you such a grounding color when you're looking, in your work. So it's the mix of, this type of look of amulets, talisman. It's like this ancient fossils with all of these beautiful bright colors that pop, and its shape, and it's, just layers of all of this. And, and en route, it'll all be in the, of course, intentional metalsmithing that you guys know. This piece I just built yesterday too, or a couple days ago, because, I just love these little charms. I kind of am loving just these washed out colors. Once again, I don't know why, but it's like when you start feeling your colors, you get in there and do it. Saturday the 3rd at 2 p.m., I have a lot of beautiful new gems that are faceted. I do have some jewelry here that I'm trying to get on, but I don't know if it'll be on by then. If not, soon after. We're just trying to work out a way. So you guys will be able to see the new site. We're adding on photographer and different things like that. I know, thank you, the ancient pieces. I know. So this is what I want to say. So here's another piece that will be on here. I actually collected quite a few of these. This is literally the mammoth bone that I have cut down. These can fit on as bracelets. I have my rings on now, but otherwise what I do I think there's 2 of them that fit beautifully on as bracelets. I don't know. They're kind of chunky. What I do is I cut them, and this is where a lot of people have seen those beautiful bracelets that I made. So in my suggestion, as we get closer, if anyone ends up getting any of those from my site, I would say I always line everything with leather. They're crumbly. This type, they're a little crumbly because they're so old. They're crumbly, so you have to put a leather on the inside and working with them. There, okay, post the screenshot in the IM Facebook group. Okay, good. So there she goes, it's on there. And here's some ways that I have worked with, these pieces will also be up, but here's what I do, just in the simplest sense. For me, ancient pieces, I did some research on the Inuit, which is the group in Alaska that all of these pieces are sourced from. It's like these are sourced from Alaska. That's where the old ancient woolly mammoth, the walrus, all of this, it's just dug up and excavated from that area. And so the thing is that the Inuit people use, the people that lived in that area, they actually built jewelry from this work. So, when I was looking around and researching on different sites, it's the same as I talk about many times over. Jewelry at its source, way back in that time, they were built. The reason that jewelry was built originally, which is so fascinating to me and makes me realize why I love my jewelry. This is why I am definitely in jewelry. Jewelry at its source was built and worn for its magical properties. Ta-da! That really is a powerful statement. Why? Because people, way back, I think some of the earliest jewelry that was ever done is because you want to prove yourself as a fierce warrior, or like you're trying to fit into your society, trying to show yourself with your people who you are. It's like whether we think we're individuals or not, we are always trying to find our groups, our tribe, our people where we speak the same language. And, when we wear our pieces for fertility or abundance, or, this is actually a smoky quartz that takes away depression or something like that, anything like that, and brings positivity into your life. These were originally worn. I've looked up some beautiful photos. Let me see if I can get on here into my photos. Things have changed. Here we go, I can. So I looked up, oh my God, so Christie's, here's some of the pieces. You can see the walrus teeth in here. You can see the woolly mammoth in here. Some of these are on auction in Christie's. And so here's some of the pieces. Choose a different asset. Oh, they're calling them assets. Okay, and so I just wanted to put together a couple things of what inspires me. Here is another piece by the Inuit that's carved mammoth and carved bone and teeth that are actually carved into little amulets. I do have a couple like that. And let me grab you another one. I think you guys can all. And then here's some like this as well. Oh, I know what I wanted to show, this piece too. So let me get back, I know. So let me see if I can now get back to me again to show me. Oh, here we go, I think. No. Sorry, guys. Everything's changed up, you know what I mean? Here we go. I think, oh, shoot. All right, well, anyway, here we go. I'm up there, yay! Okay, so anyway, there's a lot of different pieces like that. Here also is a piece that was carved from that area. So it's like, when you're thinking back in time, you're wearing your power pieces again. All pieces were created for their magical properties. So, that being said, when you wear parts of the mammoth bone, you're bringing strength into your life. You're bringing power. You're showing that you can conquer things like this. You're showing you can do all of this type of work, in there. So here's also, so for me, it's like when I mix this with my jewelry, because the mix of gems, with the sparkles, the mix of gems with your fossils are going to be such a powerful combination. Here is one piece here that I have set up. You guys can see I put in my own symbolism. This is exactly where all of the talisman, I put in my own wraps, my own prayers. So with the strength and abundance that you'll get with these pieces, you know, and also see how it's reinforced with a yellow, with the chakra is like a power symbol. These earrings are super, super powerful. And, you know, so, and also, you know, very magical because of the properties, like building it on where it came from and what it's about. Here is another pair that I actually am using tiny fossils across the top that I love. And then it moves into the crystals, and then it moves into the wraps. And the mastodon bone again, you know, that's attached and connected. I do have, there's also a piece on my, my YouTube where I actually show how to connect these into caps that you make. So you really get, you know, a good idea how to put things together. How, you know, this would be the same as a feather, the same as a stick. You guys saw, hello, nice to see you guys. You guys saw my huge stick piece too. So so that's what here's also, I want to show you this piece, because this piece, it has a white background on it so you could really see. This is done with all the gems, but this piece here, what I really like the combination of is having, this is a little piece of amber on here, which again is an ancient, I consider like a fossil piece, amber, because it gives you this rich kind of imperfectionist. And then you're playing it alongside of your gems and your, you know, just the lightness of those type of pieces. So it's really kind of fun, you know. So for me, it's like, oh my gosh, in thinking about pulling up these ancient pieces again that are magical, that are, you know, were built really to help describe yourself within a tribe, within your community, to be a part of something, to be either, you know, a warrior, or to be, you know, bringing your stitching. Oh, there was a page in here I have to show you guys. Oh my gosh, I just love this page because it actually had in it, let me see if I can find it. I know I have it. It actually has in it just, oh, this piece right here. This is part of Christie's. And this is all the Inuit. But you can see up top, you can see some of that rope and twine that was used in fishing. And oh my gosh, literally, and you can see that this piece across the top too was used. So literally all of these, oops, I don't know if you guys can actually see that up here. Let's see if you can. Yeah. So, you know, that's kind of the nice thing about this piece here. You can see all that twine, you can see all of that. So it's really so interesting on how pieces are put together. It reminds me to go back to my roots. Anytime that I get back into my roots again, and like, you know, whether that's my culture, you know, anytime I get back into like this raw type of work and just kind of build from scratch, like rolling together twine and, you know, stitching together raw leathers. It just, you grew up in Fairbanks, Alaska. Oh, nice. Fabulous. Yeah. So, you know, one thing I wanted to tell you guys, when I was working, I did a talk on the Aztec Indians from way back, which I thought it was, and I would talk about their jewelry. And, you know, because anytime you look at costume and jewelry, it always ties into, Macu Studios is there. There's Mac, you guys. That's my buddy Mac. And she is the one that has those gorgeous rings that, she has those gorgeous, gorgeous pieces that that I use in my work too. So it's nice to see you. So it was nice so as I was saying, it was really nice when I was talking about the Aztec Indian jewelry and, you know, how it really ties into the whole way that you live and who you are as part of your community. This woman contacted me and she said, Susan, you did a wonderful talk. I really appreciate it because I really try to stay politically correct when I'm talking about, you know, and also it's like not using someone else's culture and trying to bring it into my own. I'm trying to respect this way because these are the people that live this way, you know. And she said that they still consider themselves Aztec. So also in the Alaska, they still call things Eskimo, but the Inuit people, you know, and that was really more of like a white person's thing that came into the area. And so the Inuit, their names are they've translated into netter of snowshoes. Another name is Yupik, which is also in Greenland and Upper Canada. You're going to find the Inuit and the Yupik, and they call themselves real person. So it translates into real person. So it's so interesting when I've read about histories of all the different Indian group, like they're always called like the real people or real person or things like that, like, you know, just showing up like as real, authentic, that type of thing, which I think is a really interesting name. A lot of the names of the Indian tribes or groups, they translate back into themselves talking about like as authentic people, but in their own name. So that's, or of the people, just of the people and things like that. So that's kind of interesting. So we'll see with that, but I was showing you guys, you know, just the different ways to use the walrus teeth, just the history in Alaska. I have not been to Alaska yet, so man, you are so lucky, and she even lived there. I have seen some really good museum exhibits around. Let me see if there's anything else that I want to show you guys. And that, oops, we've got, oh, here's something else that has just been really inspiring me lately, of course. You know, in my history, I have studied in field museums. So when you go to field museums, you don't always have to think about looking up just jewelry or adornment to be inspired. You know, these are actually, my history came from all these type of adornments that were around, like not adornments, all of these useful pieces, that there is a name for these useful pieces, but you know, little vessels that people have put things in. In fact, I have bows and arrows that we have here, the ways they're put together, you know, the way they could be stacked or worn across your ring, you know, worn as a ring, like a feather type thing, I think would be amazing. And also, I want to show you guys this, which it really has nothing to do with today, but this so inspired me. This is in Christie's auction, and I was looking around today. They're from China, and they're all little snuff containers, and you can see the one that's all the way to the right is just beautiful, carved all the way down to a little walnut. Which I loved. I love the walnut because I think our group here, we like a lot of the usefulness. You know, if you think of the walnut, it really is about growing fresh from a seed. You know, what is a seed? A seed is about kind of growing fresh and growing your life. And I love that there was made use of this type of seed. And this actually is in Christie's auction, which I think is kind of interesting. You could get in there, drill a little hole, carve it out, you know, isn't that kind of cool? So I just love that little collection, and I had to put that little collection together. So I thought I'd keep it nice and short and sweet today, but I just wanted to remind you guys, you know, for me, I was talking about that I expected to be in India right now. I had to really come back in and find something. Oh, yes, and I had to find something to really, let me see if there's any questions. Yes, that's a cicada shell. Isn't that beautiful? And then they put like a hand-carved glass on. So one of them is a cicada shell, one of them is a walnut, and then the other two are nice. So they're really putting it together as, you know, as, and there she still is on there. So cool to see these inspirations. I know. So, you know, it's like, so I guess I just want to remind you guys today, you know, there's times like when my life was like, wah, 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 after I realized that I may or may not, you know, I'm still waiting for my visa to come through, my business visa to come through from in New York to get to India. So I'm not sure. If I don't go, I'm going to go out to Tucson. So, you know, I'll be looking for more fossils there. But in the meantime, Saturday, not this Saturday, a week from Saturday, I will have all these fossils up for you guys. They're pretty well priced. I think I have 4 or 5 of them like this. You could take and cut them. I will have either jewelry or jewelry on the way, you know, just little pieces, but we're kind of throwing around some different idea within the business too. But it's just a way, you know, like when you feel something coming in, when your life has changed, like I would love to be sitting and soaking in, you know, I feel like when just sitting in India, for me, it's going to be soaking in a whole new way that I do my jewelry. And when we go to Morocco, we're going to be soaking in a whole new way we can do our jewelry. But in the meantime, if things are delayed, what can you do to re-inspire yourself again, you know? And for me, it's always like just getting back into these raw pieces like these, you know? These, which are the walrus and the carvings and the mammoth bones, or I think this might be kind of some carved from walruses, you know? It's like these pieces, we know pieces in the ancient time, they didn't throw things away, so we can be sure that people ate the animals, that they took, you know, all of that. Like, you know, it wasn't just caught for the sake of these bones, and the mammoth either. These were from all the graveyards out there, so when they do find a nice batch of, you know, the mammoth, these are actually cut from, this guy actually is a stone, he's a knife carver. Here's another batch here. He's a knife carver, so he had all these for me. So I was like, oh my gosh, we are gonna love these. They're beautiful, you can cut them, you can carve. Oh, if you guys are carving, like this would be beautiful carved into a ring. If you guys are carving or doing wood burning into here, I do wanna say, I just can't get back into my regular self today. Let's see if I can. Seems like I'd be right here. So if you guys do, what I started using to burn into my sticks and burn into my, the mammoth is actually a soldering iron. You know the soldering irons? Here's what it looks like. It's a soldering iron because you can get it so hot. It's for that craft soldering, you know, but it's a pretty cool one if anyone is working with this type of bone. Savage my dog's bone the other day. You're awesome. Absolutely. Yes. So feel free to DM the team on IG or email support@susanlenart.com. And there's Christina there. You know, there were a couple people that, again, were asking me let's see that mammoth cuff again. Okay, so here's a mammoth cuff. And I would look through my photos, but I think you guys all have access to that once I show it up. But this is the mammoth. And it could be, what I did is I went in and I cut mine like right here, had it cut. So I have pieces like these that go together as a wristband, and that's my hinge. And if you want to find out how to get into that, I don't have the hinge exactly, but I do have in the first chapter, which is called, oh my gosh, Bezels Expanded in Intentional Metalsmithing. You know, I'm showing all of that filigree work, all of this type of work. So it's kind of cool to see. Mac, actually, I like using some pieces from Mac. Let me grab a piece from her. Hang on. You guys just get to look at this picture anyway. So this is Maku. She's on right now. You know, I like using her work as artifacts and, you know, just really different artifacts she creates on there out of her raku. So that's her. And let's see if there's anything else coming in. Yeah, I know. So I like, this one will be on the ring sale too. So I'm letting go some of my personal pieces too. So this one, even though it's created, it has that energy from Mac, which I love her. She's really a beautiful soul and a sweetheart. And I'm not going to say that much more about her because I don't want her to get a big head. So it's so nice to see all you guys. We're opening up doors. People are getting healthier. Spring is here. There's some places that are all the way, love you too. There's some places that are, you know, completely opened up. So we'll see. You guys will stay tuned. I'll be here next Thursday, and hopefully you'll know if I'm going to be on my way to India or if that's delayed to it starts getting really hot out there. So we'll see. Or I might just be out of Tucson. We'll see. Last week I talked about Tucson. This week I talked about ancient mastodon bones and ancient sliced walrus teeth and using all of this in your work. So I hope you guys got inspired. There's Sandy. Oh, good. And there's Cecilia. I hope you guys got inspired. And, you know, just keep trying to find ways as we're opening up to get closer and closer. You know, this is actually a piece that's on my bench that I'm going to put together like this. How great is that, you know? 2 pieces, an ancient carved piece and a ancient amber. Yay. All right, you guys. Yeah, Sherry's looking at buying her a ticket to Morocco. So you guys, so I talked to Sherry. We're both jonesing to get to Morocco is in October. And there's, I think, 2 or 3 seats left for Morocco in March of 22. So March of 22, there's a couple seats left. If anyone is looking, you know, we got everything reorganized. There were some people that moved because they felt safer in 22. Some people moved into 21. So there's just like a couple spaces. So I'm doing one in October and then one in March of 22. So they're pretty close together. And I think I'm going to move the India trip a little bit farther away because they're so close together. So let's do that. If anyone is interested, just, yay, she got her seat. Oh my gosh, I love, yes, it's going to be all about jewelry. We're studying the Berbers. We're going to look at Berber jewelry, costume. We're looking at architecture. We're going out to stay in a Bedouin tent. It's the Bedouin people, you know, it's that have the Berber people in the, and we're staying in a Bedouin tent that's air conditioned, flush toilets, believe it or not, riding a camel. You know, we're getting into all parts of, we're staying in Marrakesh, which is more of the city life, you know, and then we're getting all the way into the deserts too, where, you know, really all of this is found. So there, Christina put up there's my workshops on SusanLeonardCasmer.com. And I'll see if I'm going to open up any others as we get closer. You know, I'm just kind of doing my work, getting closer and closer. This is a new shape for me. And I, you know, am just seeing where I'm going to go from this. So you guys, next time you see me, you know, maybe it'll be a half shield. Maybe it'll be, we'll see. I don't know what's going to happen. Woo, I'm re-inspired. So it's really fun. Okay, you guys. So I just want to say, thank you for showing up. It's really getting exciting. Travel is going to be opening soon. And 3 weeks. I know, Christina. And then here also is just a little chunk of it right here. You know, just kind of, oh, this was like 3 little skinny pieces that I had. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm just going to kind of join these little feather pieces together and create a thicker one. So prayer boxes, all these lights. So, all right, you guys. Oh, it's so nice to see you guys. Get in your studio, even while things are a little bit up in the air. I love that you joined us, Mac. Here's my piece. This will be for sale, and that's one of Mac's little pieces in there. And I'm going to see Mac if I get out to Tucson, and she'll be happy for me if I'm in India. So we'll see. I don't know. It's hard with your life up in the air, but what are you going to do? All right, you guys. Enjoy yourself. I hope you got a little bit inspired, and I will talk to you soon. Mwah.